Hi guys, how are you guys doing? I hope you are well. I'm gonna let Instagram let you guys know that we are live. Welcome to another episode of Her Untold Story, a transition journey. I hope that you can hear me. Let me know. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. I know my mic's been acting up, so I'm letting myself check that you can hear me. I know our guest is here waving at me. So let me do some housekeeping first. Let me know if you can hear me, if my volume is good. Okay, volume 100%. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome to Her Untold Story, a transition journey, where we actually hear untold stories of women who have gone through changes and have navigated that in a way that they have left footprints that others, yourself and me, can learn from, we can glean from, and we can take something away. Because like I always say, someone once told me that sitting on your story, sitting on your dream, is you stealing someone else's transformation. And that has really stuck with me. And this is the reason why we are doing this every week, to hear untold stories of amazing women whose stories perhaps never really get heard. And someone never really gets their transformation from these amazing stories. We learn practical tips. We learn how to navigate change. We learn how we can be stronger as women, because as we navigate this journey of entrepreneurship, momship, just womanhood, it is like a really, really tough journey. And sometimes it might be overwhelming, and sometimes we might feel alone, but the point is, we're never ever alone. And if you never hear someone else's story, you can't relate with it, you can't have a transformation, you can't learn from the process, because you might feel like you're alone, but we are never alone in this transition journey. This is the reason why we're here, hearing untold stories from amazing women. So without further ado, we have an amazing guest today. Her story, I hope, would inspire you, would give you the kick that you need, will give you the tools that you need to navigate life. If you are a woman who has been working corporate, and you have an idea burning in your mind, an idea burning in your ideas cupboard, which is your mind, and you're thinking, how do I get out of this 9 to 5, and how do I go on my own so I can get flexibility, I can create a career for myself from just owning my own time back, then you want to listen to this story. You want to listen to our next guest story. So without further ado, let me get her to, she's already requested to join. So we are going to be speaking to our next guest in a minute. But before I go, we do have get to a guest. I always hold an annual mid-year check-in, a time where we check in for our goals and that we set at the top of the year, find out what is holding our momentum if we haven't really got into that space. So if you are feeling the media slump, media blue, and you really want to get back on track with your goal and get back on track and really align your actions to your goal, you want to join us tomorrow for a totally 100% free workshop where we are going to reinstate our focus and realign. I'll talk about this at the end of this, but I'm going to pin the link for that in the comments as well. So hi guys, let me get our guest here. Chioma, I know that you requested to join. Yes, let me say yay.
Did that work? Hi.
How
I'm good. How are you?
You don't look like a flu. You don't look like a woman with a flu at all.
It's the power of makeup, let me tell you.
You scrub up good then.
Yeah. Don't worry, I got my water and I have my notebook because I am in a brain fog. So if I get off track, you're gonna see me refer back to my notes. No, you're absolutely fine. We're just here to just hear and learn from, it doesn't matter if it's a brain fog. I know that you have something to share with us, so that's fine.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
So let us before we to get into the meat, I always like to say to my guests to just tell us your story in your own words. Tell us your story so that we can really. I don't like to tell, even though I've had a glimpse of your story, but I want the people to hear it from yourself, because your story would resonate with somebody. Somebody will resonate to your story, the unique way that you tell it yourself, and how your unique experience will really match with somebody. So it's not for me to say, it's for you to like get us along that.
Sure. So I'll do a quick introduction and jump into the story. I am Chioma Ikoku. I'm an interior designer and a travel enthusiast. And I founded Casadium Life to help my fellow burned out 9-to-5ers, moms especially, just tap back into that spirit of adventure that we all had back in the day, And I truly believe that like adventure begins at home. So my whole thing is create an escape at home, and it makes it easier to escape the grind, to go on those trips that you want to go on that you're overthinking. So that's kind of my thing. But how I got here was it started back in the day. I was that kid in school who had to have the straight A's and be the best at all the things. I got my degrees, got into the corporate world, started to climb. Everything was great. I was like, I'm on track. I'm doing what everybody says I should do. And then I had my first kid, and I was like, wow, this just got a whole lot harder, but I got this. I'm just going to keep pushing through. And then I had my second kid, and he rocked my world.
I was like, the second one is I wish.
No, that second one takes you by surprise. And it did not take me long to realize that I was not only burned out, I was living without passion. I wasn't doing the things that I wanted to do. I was doing the things that I could do. I was doing the things that made my mom and my family proud. And, I was checking all the check boxes, and I felt just like this emptiness inside.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to fall sick all the time. It was one sickness after the other. I was hospitalized twice a year, and I was just like, every cell in my body is telling me that I need a change. And so that's where everything started.
So I know you said you got to the second one, and you thought this is whoa, this is different. So what were the signs? What were the triggers? Like, I know you said you had a really buzzing corporate career. Like myself, when I left university and I went into the banking world, I was like, oh my God, I've made it. Like, coming from African Nigerian home, it was like, you go to school, and being in the financial services was like my mom was so proud. Every time you want to ask her about it, oh, my daughter, the economist.
Yeah.
I wasn't really the economist, but because I read the economics and finance, she just was telling everyone.
Yeah.
But then I knew that I wasn't. After a time, like after I had my second kid as well, I was like, whoa. This is a lot. This is a lot. And my son took me to church and brought me back and took me back again, and it was a lot. So I started to really, when I found out I was pregnant for my daughter, my third child, and then I thought, hang on, I can't do this. I can't do this in this transition. Like this next transition, I don't think I can keep doing the corporate job because I did it with the boys. I went to put them in nursery and I was, you know, going to the city. It was looking nice. So my question is, what were your triggers and how long did it take you to shift from those triggers to be like, it is not.
So I am glad you asked that. And it's very funny that you used the word triggered, because when I knew a shift had happened was when I would get triggered by everything. My daughter would say something and I would snap at her. And anybody who knows me knows I love the kids. I am all about the kids, the connected parenting, the patient parenting, and I was just snapping left and right. My husband couldn't do anything right. Work was getting on my nerves. I didn't want to attend any meetings. I stopped hanging out with people. And I was just like, what is going on? And I happened to start therapy at the time. And I know there's like, everybody's split about therapy. Is it good? Is it bad? Look, I started therapy and it changed my life. And I'll tell you why. There were things that I had accepted as fact that were not fact. There were simply patterns I had developed, childhood beliefs. I actually went through PTSD treatment. And my therapist was like, you know, these stories that you're telling yourself are coming from an injured mind. They don't have to be true. So all the things that were happening that were triggering me were just these stories I had been telling myself. And it took a long time. These transformations are not an overnight thing. You don't wake up the next day and go, I know what I want to do with my life. No. It's been years in the making. And you know, we talk about transformations being about finding your passion and then doing it. And I think it's actually the other way around. You do things and then you figure out that you're very passionate about them. Or you do things that you think, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to love that. And you're like, this is complete rubbish and I am not going to waste my time here. And so through the therapy, I really had to get to know myself and listen to my body. Because your body will tell you. You will be at work and your brain is go, 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 and your fingers are type, 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 and your body is just like, no, I don't want to be here. And it's going to manifest in different ways. It's going to manifest in sickness. It's going to manifest in snapping at the kids, fighting with your husband for no reason at all. Sorry, babe. But it's a process. Hey, Erica. It's a process. So yes, to answer your question, I knew the change started when I couldn't mask anymore what I was feeling inside. I couldn't just be the high achiever, the good friend, the involved parent. Like, it just became more than I could bear. And I started down the road. I registered Casidium Life in the interim, and that was my first act of rebellion. That was my first way of saying, I'm going to listen to what my body wants to do and not, you know, the path that I had laid out for myself. Like I said, I had a master's degree. I was climbing the ladder. I mean, everything looked good and it just felt wrong. And I think when we all learn to slow down and listen to our body, your body is screaming at you. Your body's telling you what to do. It might be rest. It might be go for a walk. It might be start a business. It might be marry the dude you've been dating for 5 years. Your body is telling you what you need to do. But if you are in corporate America, you're probably a go, go, go person, and you're not slowing down to listen to that message.
That's so, I mean, this is, it's like taking me back to, it's like me taking myself back to my own journey. And I remember sitting on my passion or my noun business for so long because I was worried. I was ashamed. I thought, oh my God, they're going to think that there's something wrong with me because coming from corporate finance to really saying running my own business and I am coaching people and I'm helping women, people just I don't know. How did you overcome that shame, that corporate shame from just
Mhm.
feeling like, what are people in the office going to say that she gave up the six-figure job, and what is she doing again? She's
Yeah.
joined it. And I
Yeah.
remember just thinking, like, just feeling so like I just wanted to hide. I didn't
Mhm.
want to talk about my business. I didn't
Mhm.
want to talk about, like, having to leave the title of the high-end consultant
Right.
to say, well, I work for
Yeah.
myself, and you know,
Yeah.
it was kind of like, God, it took me a while to get the clarity and the confidence to be like,
Yeah.
you know what, like I always say to my clients, my skills don't go away as a compliance consultant, because I could wake
Mhm.
up tomorrow morning and be like, hey,
Exactly.
I can consult for any big ass company,
Yeah.
but it still felt like I had to hide. So what was that journey for you as you reached
Oh man. Girl, the journey is ongoing. There is still, and shame is such a funny thing because it comes out of nowhere. I remember making achievements in my company and not telling anybody about them because I was ashamed that I was doing so well in something that wasn't my corporate job. Um, but one time I read somewhere or listened to something, I don't remember. And I'm a Christian. I'm all about spirituality. And somebody said, what will your answer be if you get to heaven one day and God asks you, all those gifts and talents that I gave you, what did you do with them? And if my answer is, well, I climbed the corporate ladder, it's just going to be like, you know? And so I just remind myself that and I say, I was given these talents, this passion for a reason. There is a reason. And that restlessness that I feel. So I will tell you how I got to the point of just doing things and not worrying about what are people going to say, what are people going to think. Um, there were three questions that I asked myself, and I wrote them down because this is where the brain fog is about to kick in, right? So the first question, when I slowed down and I was like, I need to get to know myself, I asked the question that everybody asks, what makes me happy, right? Everybody says, start there. What makes you happy? And it's a great question to ask. It's a great starting point. But that question was not getting me anywhere because that people pleasing was so ingrained in me that I kept telling myself, what would make me happy is making my mom proud. What would make me happy is being the employee of the month. And I was just like, no, that's not what would make me happy. So I shifted that question from what would make me happy to what am I willing to sacrifice for my passion? Um, some people are willing to sacrifice starting a family. Some people sacrifice sleep. I'm a sleep person. I will function on 1 hour of sleep to get whatever it is I need to do done. Um, and when you are able to answer that question for the things that make you happy, for example, I love designing, I love writing, and I love planning parties for kids. Am I willing to sacrifice my sleep to plan parties for kids? No, I'm not. Am I willing to sacrifice sleep for whatever? No, I'm not. But when it comes to writing, I will stay up all night writing. And
Wow.
so that's really what helped me find my clarity. Like, this is what your passion is. And that thing that you're willing to sacrifice, this is just an FYI for anybody listening, that's going to be your leg up. That's going to be the thing that propels you past your competition. Because if there's 5 of you who only have 3 hours in a day, and 4 of you choose to sleep for those 3 hours, you have a leg up because you're like, I don't need that sleep.
Hmm.
That was my first question. The second question, again, was what am I good at, which is what are my God-given talents. And I know you're like me, Nigerian background, you're good at everything, right? Good at a whole lot of
Yes,
things, right?
yes. I'm answering yes to it all. Can you do it? Oh, yes, I can.
Oh, yes, I can do it and I can
I
do
will
it
do it
well.
out.
Exactly. So I had to really stop and listen to my body. The example I use is when I'm at a party. For example, I've thrown this party for my goddaughter. It's her first birthday and I'm restless. People are talking to me and I can't listen. The old me would have been do, do, do. Oh, it's because I have to put out the hors d'oeuvres. Oh, it's because I have to welcome the guests. Oh, it's because I blah, blah, blah. I'm restless because there's an opportunity to use the gift that God has given me. I notice in situations like parties when I'm restless and can't focus, what my body is telling me is pick up a camera. That's all I want to do. I can take pictures from sunrise to sunset. I love taking pictures. And I don't get that feeling of calm until I'm taking pictures. I could be the hostess with the mostest and still be feeling like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But pull that camera out and I find the calm. And so it got easier to do that because I would be in my corporate job and I would be attending meetings and giving deliverables and I would have that restless feeling like something's not right here. That helped me. I was like, I don't want to feel restless all the time. It's stressful. I'm raising my blood pressure. I'm in my 30s. I can't be doing all of that. The last question is, what does the world need? And I say the world. The world could be the world. It could be your country. It could be your school district. It could be your home. Whatever it is that your circle of influence is, meet a need there. So I have found that writing and photography, that's my passion. I'm willing to sacrifice sleep for those two things. When I'm feeling restless, what do I need to do? I need to create. What does my community need? My community needs storytelling. My community is currently divided about immigration. Where homes, what are homes? Who belongs where? I can tell those stories with my words, with my pictures. I can help people find home, create adventures at home, reconnect with their homes. That's fulfilling a need. You don't have to cure cancer. If that's your thing, please cure cancer. But if your thing is being elected to the school board, use your talents towards that goal. These three questions, they have helped a lot. Like I said, there's 37 years of of Nigerian upbringing working against me. So this is not an overnight fix. But if you keep answering those three questions day after day, it becomes easier to be like, I don't really care what people think. I have a purpose.
I think that's so amazing. Like these three questions, like I think they're the most fundamental for you to again find purpose. And I think that the thing that struck me in those three questions is you can still be doing something that you're good at, but still be restless. But when you find something that you are at peace with when you're doing it, then that is your purpose. And
Mm-hmm.
until you get to that point of finding peace in what you were doing, whether you're serving a little, two people, whether you're serving a billion people, whether you're serving a million people, the thing that gives you peace is what you're called to do. And I think that a lot of us, as we transition, as we go through changes in life, there's so much noise in, like you say, finding what makes you happy.
Yeah.
Because something makes you happy doesn't mean it will give you peace. So being restless and knowing that if I'm restless, then that's my God-given talent. If I'm doing something and I'm still restless, and then I do it, and then I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I need to sit there. And I think that's so important, especially as we navigate this life of transition and change and just like You talking about therapy is so like, because I know like as minority, it's like if you go to therapy, it's like, what is wrong
Right.
with her? Like, you can be still good and still need to go to therapy, because sometimes some of the way that we react to things are as a result of the learned things that we've seen when we've grown up. And sometimes it's not necessarily like, oh, our parents were doing a bad job.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they were doing the best with the information they had. And so
Yeah.
now that the things have changed and you are evolving, you need to figure out, who am I and how do I separate myself from the things that I grew up with knowing, so I can now fit into this world where I can do things that bring me peace and not be, what is the word that I'm looking for? Traumatized, still traumatized, having PTSD from, you know, where we came from.
Yeah.
And no offense, like, to our parents, like it's.
Yeah.
I mean, if I didn't grow up in a Nigerian home, maybe I wouldn't have that hustle. You know, I can do it, and I'll
Right.
figure it out.
Yeah.
But then again, there are some things that I'm like, hell no, where I was
But
abused.
you know,
Not even,
the way
not
I think
even.
about therapy, because I think especially in our culture, in that Nigerian culture, therapy is when there's something wrong with you or there's something you need to fix, right? And I think that's such a wrong way to look at therapy. Therapy is just a pattern interrupt. It is like putting a sticky note on your fridge. And if you have bad habits, if you are a binge eater, or if you buy workout clothes but never start working out, there is a pattern of thinking that you have ingrained in you, programmed in you, wherever it came from, childhood, relationships. Therapy is a way to shift out of that pattern and find a new way of processing the thought and find a new way of using those workout clothes, or finding a new way to stop eating when you're full. Therapy, it's not always childhood trauma and life-changing events. Sometimes it's just like, hey, I just need a second opinion on how I'm thinking through things. I'm all for it.
That's amazing. So, how did you come about your business name? Because my business name has a story to, to it. I was as I went through this, up and down in this corporate career and figuring out, being, going into adulthood and then being a mom and then going out of work and then trying to come back in a very male dominated world. And then, that shame factor of like, okay, I'm now a mom, and then my peers are like, they've gone round the ladder, and now I'm having to start at the midpoint or low point. And I think that really got me to the point where I was at a bridge where I was like, where am I even going? How do I navigate this bridge? Which is why my business school at your bridge, because I was literally at a bridge of thinking, oh, I need to get to the other side. I can see it, but I don't know how do I get to the other side without the limitation, without feeling the shame, without being alone, because I actually felt really alone. Even like going back to work as from maternity, I had to re-explain myself, like, and recruiters are asking me, so what have you been doing? Like, it clearly says maternity. And
Right, yeah.
I was like, yes,
Yeah.
and that really knocked my confidence down, and that really made me feel like, if I feel like this, how many more million women are sitting on their purpose and sitting on what they want to do, because they're too ashamed to say, well, I'm a mom now, well, I'm a wife now, well, life has changed for me, so I've had to shift things, I've had to pivot a little bit, but I still got the skill, I still got the the purpose, I still these things. So how did you navigate finding the name for your business that resonated with yourself, and think, oh my god, so how would people receive this?
Yeah, so the story of my company name is actually pretty funny, because I overthought it for 11 months. I was looking for the perfect name. Perfection is my kryptonite. And my older brother was just like, I'm tired of talking about this. Can you just register your business, please? But the way I came up with my name, as I said, I founded Casadiem because I truly believe that that escapist feeling we all have can be achieved in your home as well as on the go. I love being at home as much as I love being out on adventure. And so with the understanding that adventure begins at home, the word casa was just in my head, which is Spanish for house, but it has Latin roots and it just means house. Um, and then the diem part was that carpe diem, that seize the day, find your adventure, pursue something new. Um, and I just thought, oh, it'd be really cute to just like combine casa and diem together, because it made total sense to me. And then the life part is really just about living life. There are so many of us who are in the matrix. We wrote a program when we were 17 and we went to college and we got the career and then we got married and then we had kids and then see how boring that sounds? Life is for living. And so I put it all together as Casa Diem Life, with my three pillars being life at home, life on the go, and then life in balance, where you do the day-to-day things, but you find joy in them. That's the story.
That's amazing. I mean, I've never thought about that, but the way that you put it, I have three pillars, and it kind of depicts the way you almost wanted your life to be, like life at home, life on the go, and life in balance. And that's so amazing. Okay, so my next question would be, what would you tell someone who is in that place of, I need this change, I want to see change, and I want to go to my next level, but I'm not there yet. I'm still in the place where I'm still at a place where I need the change. I can see the next level, but what are the three things that you would say to, if there is that woman who is in our situation, that was in our situation, me 5 years ago or 2 years ago, when I decided to live it all alone in corporate, and it's that woman who is going to the office every day but has this burning passion, but life is not, life is changing. Maybe she has a family, maybe she has to move locations. What are three things that you would tell the woman to do in her transition? She's at the bottom of that bridge, she needs to get to the other side. What three things would you say to her that helped you to navigate your way to where you are?
The first thing that I would say is find clarity. And that's the part that honestly takes the longest, because there's so many tiers to it. I know a lot of us feel like I need a change, but not a lot of us know what the change is that we need. And so asking those hard questions like, what is it that I want to change? Am I tired of interviewing? Am I tired of explaining myself in a male-dominated society? Am I tired of being on a computer every day? What is the change that you need? And I'll tell you this, sometimes asking yourself questions gets you nowhere fast. Sometimes you have to do things. You have to do things to figure out if that was the change that you wanted. If you feel like, I want more time to create, wake up an hour earlier and paint, or draw, or write, or sing, and give it some time. There's going to be resistance in your body at first, but give it time. Give it 2 weeks, give it a month. And you will know, no, this wasn't the change that I needed. Maybe what I need is to find help in my home. It could be anything. I'm not going to give like 50 examples, but get clear on the change that you want. Take your time with it. The second thing I would say is get connected. Um, in the beginning, I had the urge to figure it out on my own, especially because I was hiding so much. I was hiding my talents. I was hiding the fact that I wasn't happy in corporate. I was just hiding. And so when you're hiding yourself, you don't think to seek out other people who might already be 1, 2, or 3 steps ahead of you. Find a community, again, if you're a writer, find a community of writers, join a writing challenge online, find a mentor. I'm really big on mentors. They save you so much time and energy.
True. Amen.
Yeah. And the third thing I would say is keep changing. Like how do I put this in a way that makes sense? You know your passion and you know your goal. But break out of the idea that there is a path to get there. Because there are probably 15 paths to get there. And if you get stuck in the path that you picked when you knew 5% of the business, you're going to burn out. Be prepared to shift to the path when you've learned 20% of the business, and then shift to another path when you've learned 80% of the business. The good thing about going out on your own is that you make the rules. You no longer have to follow a script. And the more you practice changing direction, the easier it gets. Don't feel like you've wasted time or you've wasted money. No knowledge is wasted. The things that I learned in biomedical engineering absolutely apply to travel writing. The skills stay with you. The knowledge stays with you. Don't be once you set out on your journey, don't be scared. Don't be scared. It's now your journey. It's your thing. And you're gonna learn new things. I thought I knew everything I needed to know about writing a blog. 2 weeks ago, I found out I know nothing, and I'm having to start from scratch. And that's okay. It's my thing, you know? So hopefully that helps somebody. I don't know.
No, that's amazing because it's funny that you said like the pillars of my business, because I always say to my clients and my students, the first thing to do in transition is to get clarity, and there's no way you can be clear if you don't start doing. You have to do. It's in the place of doing that you get clarity. And there is that place where I always say that this journey is unique to you.
Yes.
No other person has this journey except you. So you have to accept that fact that this is a unique journey carved out just for you. And you can't be afraid to pivot. Sometimes you might have to change things a little bit. Sometimes you have to move things. It's not going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to be sexy every time.
Yeah.
That's why you need to take uncomfortable action. So it's so amazing that you said the absolute 3 things that I'm just thinking, oh my God, this is we've not even talked about this. We've not even discussed this before. It's just like what I always say, that transition is like, you've got to be clear. You have to be willing and open-minded to pivot, because life lives, and the way life lives is not the way we do it to you. Like, life is life, and it's all in our own unique way. And I think sometimes when we're going through change, especially if it's a sudden change, or if it's a change that moves you from your comfort zone to some place where it doesn't look certain or comfortable, your mind starts to get cluttered. And if you're not clear, you stop doing, because now you're feeling like, oh my God, is it this, or should I be going that way? You know, this is why you have to find yourself a community of people who are going through this exact same thing, because you're going to hold your hand, and you are not going to, and it's going to be a safe space for you to say, hey, I feel like I feel like this today, or I'm having to change this. And people be
Yeah.
like, someone else will be like, yes, girl, I had to do it, you
Yeah.
know. But if you are like not doing it on your own, it would take you longer.
Mm-hmm.
One,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna end up so confused, and your mind will be so cluttered.
Yes.
Like it took me 2 years to really like get clear
Mhm.
and okay. Like I've really left, and
Yeah.
it's not 6 years anymore. I am
Mhm.
working from the bottom up, but then
Yep.
I still need to figure out a lot of things, and I had to change so many things, and I'm still evolving. I'm still changing,
Mhm.
but now I'm doing it with a bit more confidence and a bit more clarity, and I'm
Yeah.
not afraid to pivot when I need to. So that leads me to the point of what was your biggest obstacle? What did
Ah.
you have to get over? Like you're like, Chioma, you need to get over this, and this is what you need to get over. What was that big obstacle, and how did you get over it?
I'm
And if you
laughing
say
because I'm
get
like,
over it, you
just
can
one
say, I'll tell
obstacle?
you.
Oh gosh. The very first thing I had to get over was that fixed mindset. I genuinely used to believe that if I was going to be good at something, I would be good at it right away. And if I started on a path and it got hard or I just plain sucked at it, I was like, nope, this is not for me. This is not what it is I'm supposed to be doing. And I had to learn that the phrase is growing pains for a reason. It's not gonna be easy.
Hmm.
Like just because you love it doesn't mean it's going to be roses all the time. There's, like you said, there's going to be obstacles to overcome. There's going to be times when you just, life be lifing, okay? Oh gosh. So once I got over that need to be good at things, it got so much easier to publish the post, to call the client back who wanted a discovery call, to post on social media. I was like, I don't need to be good at it. I just need to be at it, you know?
Yeah.
So that was the first for me. I spent, like I said, with my company name. It took me 11 months to register the company because I was just like, no, I need a really good name. And I was like, no, you don't. Just need a name. Like people will learn the name, you know? Um, the second obstacle that I had to overcome was time. I was like, nobody, nobody can survive on 24 hours in a day. It's not possible. There's too much to do. Um, and I just convinced myself I didn't have the time. And so I would do all the things on the list. And then in that my last 30 minutes of the day with my final breath, I would say, oh, let me just write 10 sentences. It wasn't working. Um, there will always be an abundance of things to do. I have learned that and I have accepted that. I have learned that I don't have to do all the things that have to be done.
Hmm.
I simply don't. I had to learn to ask for help. I had to learn to outsource repetitive tasks like my laundry and cleaning my house. I
Amen. Amen to that.
I had to learn what my prime hours are and dedicate those hours to my business. I had to reshuffle my entire day. I am not a night person at all. After 8 p.m., don't ask me any questions. Don't tell me your feelings. Just don't do it. And that is the time that I was trying to use to be creative. And I had to flip my entire schedule upside down. My ideal day now starts at 4:30 because I have to work out in the morning. I do my best writing, my best editing, my best outreach before the sun rises. And
Wow, that's amazing.
that and I know it's not for everybody, because there's some people that are like, huh? But I had to find that schedule that worked for me. I had to have that conversation with my employer to say, hey, these are the working hours that are going to work best for me. If y'all want a productive employee, we got to talk about this. And then I created time by getting rid of the distractions. Earlier, we talked about that restlessness when you just feel like you got to do. And I would fill that restlessness with social media. That was the time I got really into Netflix. And, I tell myself, like, oh, I'm being productive because I'm ironing while I'm watching Netflix. And the truth is, I could have gotten that ironing done a whole lot faster if I turned off the TV, So I had to just get really honest and disciplined with my time. 24 hours is, in fact, enough time to do the things you're passionate about. But I had to learn to ask for help. That is not a skill that I had. That is a skill that I learned in therapy. And I would say, yeah, those were the biggest obstacles, just the perfectionism and the time management.
I think that's so important. It's so important that you said asking for help. And I know that a lot of times when life is lifing and you're trying to build a dream, or you're sitting on a dream, or you're looking at the other end to be in that next level, there's always that place where you think that you can do it all by yourself. And we forget to ask for help. And I know that sometimes when you're even starting up a business, a lot of times, sometimes the finances might not be there because you're using your savings to build the business up. But can you imagine how being you're the CEO, you're the advertising manager, you're the strategist, you're the social media, like you're everything, and then you end up doing nothing.
Yep.
Like you get to the end of the day and you're like, oh, I didn't really do much, but then I'm still overwhelmed and nothing has really moved. So I think as you navigate change, whatever your change is, it's important to really give yourself grace. And the way that you start from giving yourself grace is to ask for help. Because when you ask for help, you're literally telling yourself that I know that I'm perfect. And I'm very nice with them. Like, I can get it done, but I need help. And figuring out that you actually need help allows you to, create avenues for you to refuel yourself, create that routine for yourself, and understand the rhythm that works better and makes you more productive. Like you say, like you're not a night person. I'm not too. Like it gets to like, I don't sleep early, but at night my brain doesn't like it's gone. And if I'm sitting, I could literally sleep washing the dishes because I'm just not programmed for the night. But even if I have 2 hours sleep, I could be up in the morning and I will get stuff done. So I think for anyone who is listening, and if you're in some kind of transition or you're navigating any kind of change and you're feeling overwhelmed and burnt out, perhaps you haven't given yourself enough grace to ask for help. And there is no shame in asking for help when you're going through things. Some people might not understand the seasons or the times that you're in. That's okay, but that doesn't mean that it's okay for you to do it on your own and get burnt out and not really achieve anything. Because what is life is just life in you, and you're just there being miserable to everybody around you and yourself.
The thing about burnout is it's a form of debt, and the difference between debt and a lack of money is that debt continues to build on itself. So when you are burnt out, you continue to feed into that burnout cycle because you won't get things done, and then you'll beat yourself up for not getting things done, and then you might try to do more to prove to yourself that you could get things done, or you might shut down completely and get even less done, and it continues to build. And sometimes just getting that help is that little pattern interrupt that you need to reset and to remind yourself that I am a person. I was not built as an island. I was built to be in community with people. And you'd be surprised how many people want to help you. When I first started asking for help, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. What am I going to do? And people would jump to it. And they, Chioma, you've done so much for us. Like, this is the least we could do. And I was just like, you want to help me? You know, like, you would be surprised at how ready your community is to help you. And it might not be helping you in your home or with your kids, but you might have somebody who's really great at grant writing, or somebody who's really great at social media and can make things go quicker for you. Or somebody who's great at gentle parenting and can teach you, like, hey, take a breath before you respond to your kids, you know? Help comes in many different forms, and if you are honest with yourself about what you need, I'm pretty sure you can find that help. You just have to ask for it.
That's so amazing. Thank you so much. It's been so amazing. Like, we could go on and on and on about this. But before you go, I want you to give us one thing. What is the one thing that should always be in your mind, in your heart, as you navigate change, whatever that change might look like for you, for us, whatever is a change in career, whatever is a change in your health, whatever is a change in finance, whatever is just life in us. What is that one thing that you have to constantly have in your mind as you navigate these hoops that would keep you, reminding you to keep going, that one thing that would give you, that when you think about it, that when you feel it, you know that this journey is unique to me, and I'm gonna keep pushing until I get there.
Ooh, the one thing. I would probably say there is no wrong way to live your life. There are no wrong decisions. There are decisions and there are outcomes, which lead to other decisions, which lead to other outcomes. At the end of your life, nobody can say, no, you did it wrong, because you didn't. You lived your life. And so I think a lot of time it's that fear holding a lot of people back. There's the fear of failure, of embarrassment, of judgment. And honestly, yes, Ari, it is your life. It is nobody else's. And you don't know whether you have 3 days or 300 years. I don't know. AI might keep us alive till God knows when. But there are no, it took me a long time to accept this. There are no wrong choices. There are just choices and outcomes. That's all I got.
That is so amazing. Thank you so much, Chioma. Thank you for sharing your journey. And for those of you who are just joining us, we've talked about a whole lot of stuff. We've talked about how the 3 questions to ask yourself when you are navigating change, like what makes you happy, what makes you find peace, what do your people need, if it's a business that you want to start, what do they need? And it's not what makes you you think about the question about the what makes you happy question, is what gives you, what makes you peaceful when you do that thing, what gives you that inner peace that you're still not, you're not doing it, you love it, you can do it, but you're still restless about it. And then we talked about finding clarity, knowing that you have to be clear, and the way that you find clarity is in doing. If you don't start doing, then you can't get clear. There's no way can find a group or a community where you can thrive in connecting with people who are on the same path, or at least with the same mindset, so that they can lift you up, support you, um, give you accountability. Find a mentor, someone who is 2 steps, even if it's the person is point five steps ahead of you, they're still ahead of you. They're still leaving footprints for you to learn from. Don't do it on your own, and know that your journey is unique to you. You're not the same as me. I'm not the same as you. As long as you give yourself grace to know that this journey is my journey, is unique to me. I need to still get clear. I need to find community, but I can thrive knowing that what I'm doing, and as I'm moving through these changes, I am doing something that gives me peace, that allows me to not be restless, and I'm providing a solution to people. That my story is someone else's transformation. Like I always say, don't rob someone of their transformation because you're too perfect to give yourself grace to go through this journey of life in and finding clarity. Like, go to therapy if you need to go to therapy. Doesn't even if you don't need it, go. It's something. You will find out something that about yourself that would give you the anchor that you need in this transition and life journey. So I think that was a good summary, because I was taking notes.
That was quite the talk, yeah.
I was putting my notes down. I was like, I better write this down so I can let the people know. So I hope that you've been encouraged. I hope that you've been enlightened. I hope that you've learned from our story, because I've kind of shared my own story in a way, and Chioma has shared her amazing story. And just to know that you're not alone. If you're going through any change, if you're starting up a business, going from corporate to starting a business, or going from even doing nothing, maybe you were just, had a break and you're like, I've got this thing that's burning in my heart. Don't be afraid to just step out. Ask for help. Do it afraid. The more you do it, the more clear that you're going to be. You're going to ditch some things. You're going to find that some things still make you restless, but you can do it.
And there's no shame in that. There's no shame in ditching things. Move on to the next.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to pivot, because we all have to pivot in life, and that's the amazing and beautiful thing about life. So thank you so much, Chioma.
Thank you for having
where can people find you? Where can people find you?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Casa DM Life. That's where I share daily, unless I'm sick like I am now, and then I take a break. Or you can read some of my long form writing at my blog, casadmlife.com.
That is amazing. Do you have any offers or anything that you want the people to know about Casa DM Life? Like,
Yes. So very soon, hopefully in the next few weeks, I will be launching a course called Hotel at Home. And it is really just a quick course on how to start loving your home right now. Find that adventure without packing a single suitcase. Because I really want people to find joy where they are, even as they're planning their next journey.
Oh my God, that is so... I'm intrigued already. What am I going to find in this? Okay, I'm going to buy that course when it comes out. And guys, go ahead and follow her, Casa DM Live. Did I get it right?
Yes, you did.
My God. She tells the most amazing story of places that she's been to. If you've never checked her IG page, you have to go and look at it. I think she shared something about, was it Mexico? Where did you go? And I was like, I want to go there. And I was like...
There will be lots more travel content to come, I promise. As soon as I have my voice back.
She's amazing. Go follow her, people. Thank you guys for hanging with us. Chioma, thank you so much. Bye.
Have a great one. Bye.
Bye. Oh no, now I have to figure out this technology. Right. Okay. Oh my God, that was so amazing. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, this is our Untold story, a place where we hear untold stories and where we learn through people's transition, through people's navigation of life. Like you can see, we learned so much amazing nuggets of how to navigate change, of how to go find the peace that you need in what makes you happy, in what you can do. It's not just doing what makes you happy. You have to ask that question with intention to be able to find the thing that gives you the most peace. And I think that is what I took out from today. Just doing it, just knowing how to do it is not enough. It's what makes you peace, what gives you peace rather in the doing. So knowing that you are unique and finding clarity and a good community, I can't stress and overemphasize that. I hope that this episode has been helpful to you. If you have any transition story, or if you have any transition questions, anything about navigating change, starting up a business, follow my page at your bridge. I've put tips, nugget experiences on how to start up a business, how to build your confidence, how to even gain clarity. I have a one-to-one program which it's called Thrive. If you want to go on that journey, or you're in that space and you're like, hello, I need that accountability, I need that support, and I need to be able to navigate this journey a bit more clearer, a bit more confident, so that I can find that thing that gives me peace, DM me the word Thrive and let me see how we can work together. And don't forget, tomorrow 7 p.m. British Standard Time, that is 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I am holding the second, I can't believe it. We started this last year, and this year is the second annual mid-year check-in. So this is just a workshop where we get together and we check in. Remember how we talked about community and not being afraid to give ourselves grace? Tomorrow is where we're in month 6 of the year, where we check in on our goals, the ones that you said. Remember those ones you set in January? If you have a goal, if you have a passion, or if you're a small business owner, this is where we pause, we take some time to reflect, review, re-strategize, so that we can be accountable to ourselves, give ourselves grace, and then enter into the next half of the year with momentum. Is completely free. The link is pinned in the comment section, in the comments. So go ahead and register. There would be a replay, but it's a 90 minutes workshop, and I guarantee you that you will be coming out with a plan, a strategy, a refocus, the exact momentum that you had in January to get that goal. You are going to be having that same experience tomorrow as we thrive and navigate the second half of the year together. We pause, we reflect, we review, and then we align our actions to our goal. It's again 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. British Standard Summertime. Join us tomorrow. It's completely free, 100% free workshop. I hope to see you there. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you to our amazing guests. And we'll see you next Wednesday for another episode. We have another amazing story. I can't wait for you guys to hear that story. But thank you for sticking with me on her Untold story. I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.